Judge, we got to talk about this Tennessee judge. He was alcoholic. He was such a severe alcoholic that he developed something called chronic calcific pancreatitis, which is an inflammation of the pancreas. Very painful. He then became addicted to opioid painkillers. Then he got caught buying drugs and having sex with, I think it was a defendant.
It was a defendant, somebody in his drug program.
In his court.
Yes.
Now, I got to tell you something. Looking at this guy, oh, I have so many feelings about this judge. You tell me yours.
I think he should have his head handed to him. He did such damage, not only to the people in his district,
so decapitation.
to the defendant. I mean, it's
off with his head.
It is the ultimate judicial crime, is it not? To deal with your defendants and commit felonies with your defendants.
It's mind-bending.
You can't get past it.
Judge, I'm going to say something very unpopular, though. I have treated judges.
Yes.
I have treated them, and I've seen them behave in ways not a lot different than this, and I have felt bad for them. As my patient, I've had sympathy for them, empathy for them.
And I understand that. And as people, you should feel bad for them. But as public officials, you should not. We are allowed to do extraordinary things. He can take someone's life legally. He can say, you have been found guilty, you will now die. Therefore, he has an obligation beyond that of regular people.
All right, I agree with that. So why don't judges police themselves? Why didn't attorneys report this guy? To be sick long enough with alcoholism, to have chronic calcific pancreatitis, this must have been going on for at least a decade. Why doesn't the legal system police itself the way the way physicians and nurses have to police themselves?
A bit of arrogance, I would say.
That's not okay with me.
Oh, absolutely not okay.
That's like saying doctors, somebody's going to die because a doctor has got, listen, now in hospitals, if a doctor puts a chart down too hard and seems angry, he or she gets reported to the well-being committee. They got to show up and explain themselves. Why don't judges have something like that?
I think judges they have obligations, they have ethics, they have professionals. They can go to the Supreme Court and say, hey, you've been bad. You're not even supposed to have the appearance of impropriety. So you can't go out drinking with the boys because that appears improper. I will say this, though. We can be an arrogant bunch. And we feel a camaraderie among ourselves, as any large institution does. But there is an arrogance about it because you're always the final word in any room that you're in. And it is a failure on the part of the judiciary. I will say that.
So the old boy network protects itself.
It does. And I made a...
You part of that?
Well, you know, I upset a room full of 100 judges in Columbus. I came back and I said, each and every one of you are prejudiced. And... you know, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I said, you know, when a young black, because it was mostly white, and when a young black man comes in front of you and he smarts off and he boasts, what is your response to that? Is it he's a statistic or there, but for the grace of God goes my son? And everybody got upset. But judges say they believe their own rhetoric about them being beyond human in their ability. It is a frightening thing.
It scares me. That's how we ended up with a Watergate situation.
Absolutely.
We had a government that thought that they were above the law. Let's go to Linda in Colorado. Linda, what's up?
Hi, Dr. Drew.
Linda.
I'm just outraged that a judge could have gotten away with this for so long and that nobody reported him. It's just, I can't understand how that would have happened. A drunk judge, and what happens to all of those filings, all of the decisions he made.
Well, let me take an alternative position and say, Linda, maybe this is a man with a bad disease. What if he had a brain tumor? What if he had a brain tumor that made him behave in ways that were bizarre? Wouldn't we have a little sympathy for this guy? We'd go, oh, such a mess, but he was sick. What are we going to do?
I would have to say, yeah, he's sick, but somebody should have noticed and reported him.
So Linda's taking my position that it should have happened earlier. Once he got so sick that he had no more insight, couldn't control himself, maybe.
But judges don't get to wait that long. You have to judge yourself every day before you take the bench. Even if you're in a bad mood, you have to settle that in your head before you sit in that chair because you're going to deliver it to somebody who has no immediate recourse.
Would you tell on somebody?
Absolutely.
Who do you report it to?
The Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
Yeah, you go to the Supreme Court, and they deal with that.
The Supreme Court of the United States deals with...
No, the Supreme Court of your state.
Of your state. Supreme Court of the state
of your state
deals with
judicial misconduct.
Judicial misconduct. Is there going to be a hearing and they have, a whole...
They often do, yes, and then they make a determination as to whether he should be censured, whether he should be disbarred, stepped down, whatever they do.
A lot of people's lives are affected by somebody like this. Dave in California. Dave, you want to ring in?
Hi, Dr. Drew.
Dave.
Listen, I think that we're being very harsh on the judge. I am a medically addicted to opiates.
Right.
And society itself, there's a large segment of people that I found out have this problem.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be they shouldn't be flying an aircraft, they shouldn't be practicing medicine, and they shouldn't be sitting on the judge's chair.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, we're great at focusing on them and putting them out, for the media display, but we don't look that mirror at ourselves.
No, but listen, I agree with you that those people somebody with these problems should be sympathized with. I have deep empathy for what's going on here, but I don't want them flying my plane. I don't want them doing surgery on my parents. I don't want them sitting in the judge's chair.
Oh, absolutely. And the damage he did is just not to the people he touched. He damaged all judges because the system works on their belief that we are fair and that the system is going to work. And when you see that, every judge is impacted by his failures in such a huge, magnificent, spectacular fashion.